The insurrectionist ex-prez held a Super Bowl party at Mar-a-Lago with embattled ex-Jaguars coach Urban Meyer, Patriots head coach Bill Belichek, and many more. Folks came in and kissed his ass left and right. According to Patriot Takes, the staff wore referee uniforms. How lovely. Which also reminds us of another Super Bowl party Trump held. Here he was making light of the national anthem. Well, just hang on a moment here.
You have to stand proudly for the national anthem.
When you go down and take a knee or any other way, you're sitting, essentially, for our great national anthem. You're disrespecting our flag, and you're disrespecting our country.
It's a hilarious spin when the man himself called for boycotting the National Football League, which, sounds familiar.
So you can imagine the sadness felt at Mar-a-Lago when Coca-Cola called out Georgia Republicans for their attack on voting rights, thus forcing 45 to boycott the Coca-Cola company and call for his backers to do the same. But did he really do both of those things? We know he told the MAGA faithful to call it quits with Coca-Cola, but did he call it quits with Coca-Cola? Today, the architect of the former administration's Muslim ban and family separation policy visited an office that is not oval-shaped, and he shared this photo, leaving a lot of people asking, what is that hiding behind the telephone on the desk?
Oh, you already know what the hell that is.
Cancel culture, driving people from their jobs, shaming dissenters, and demanding total submission from anyone who disagrees.
The big guy claims to rail against cancel culture, right?
We ought to boycott Geico.
And Nabisco leaving Chicago with their big plant, they're moving to Mexico. I'm not eating Oreos anymore, you know that. So many people are boycotting Macy's. I love it. I love it.
You see, the hypocrisy knows no bounds. So when I see 45 hosting a Super Bowl party while proclaiming to despise the NFL and everything it stands for, the sheer dishonesty and the fake newsy approach should dominate the entire discussion around him. At Mar-a-Lago, Trump's table had a 45 flag inside a New York Giants helmet. Cookies with Bengals and Rams logos were served, wrote Patriot Takes, which, by the way, if you have a moment, support their independent research as they do solid work covering the world of MAGA. I can imagine how many Tylenol they take. A Super Bowl party yard sign was placed outside of Trump's golf club. This guy used to rail against the NFL for weeks on end, they wrote, which is nothing but the truth. Rudy Giuliani, one of the masterminds in overturning the election, who was somehow not behind bars for being a traitor to the country, was also in attendance. Paris Hilton's mother, Kathy, made an appearance, as were plenty others. And real quick, in case you thought they differed politically, well, they absolutely do not. As Troy Westwood wrote, the man orchestrated an attempt to overthrow a federal election, called Georgia demanding 11,780 votes, has flagrantly attacked American democracy on several fronts. If you are still standing beside him now, you are blatantly supporting authoritarianism. At our schoolie on Twitter saw this pic of a toupee and a man named Arthur Bernstein. First off, dude, you're not fooling anyone. Second, the food. Let's discuss. Is the dog still alive? What the F is the sauce? Maybe you should have gone with something else. This trust fund baby's name, Arthur L. Bernstein. Here he is photographed with Richard S. Bernstein, which Arthur posts aplenty of on his IG. Some have left reviews on Bernstein's crappy business handlings, but where it comes full circle is the following. The company the Bernsteins founded, Richard S. Bernstein and Associates, has insured some of Trump's businesses for years. His wife, Robin, was among the founding members of Mar-a-Lago. Thus, because this is just how Trump is, Robin Bernstein was offered the ambassadorship to the Dominican Republic. She compared Trump's winter home to JFK's frequent trips to the family's Palm Beach compound. With this nomination should likely come the qualifications of, speaking Spanish. The Guardian's Ben Jacobs noted as such. Her speaking of the language, per her own words, was, quote, basic. In an interview, she proclaimed Vince Flynn should serve in the Trump White House. This story in the Times of Israel was printed on November 4th, 2017. Flynn died in the year 2013. This is just one of the many stories of folks who grift their way to the top, who also happen to be at Trump's Super Bowl party.